Social media is a digital cigarette. It's a digital cigarette. No matter how many apps, or even if you're curating your algorithm to be more educational or help yourself, it's a cigarette and it should be treated as such. Because think about it. How hard is it to quit cigarettes or any other substance that seriously takes up hours of your day? It takes up how you live your life. It takes up a nice chunk of your budget, weekly, monthly, even probably daily. Think about it. And what gets you with social media is it's not nicotine that you're getting a hit from. It's dopamine that you're getting a hit from. It's dopamine. It's quick, except for this pack of cigarettes is free. You know, you don't have to really pay for it. I mean, you have to pay for your cell phone plan and the phone you have, especially if you have something like this that's close to $1,000. And if you're someone who likes to update it every time there's a new one every fall, this is probably the most expensive pack of cigarettes that you have. Social media is a cigarette. Every time you pick up your phone, you're pulling a cigarette out of your pocket or out of however you do it. I don't know how they do it because I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke at all. But every time you pick it up and you unlock your phone, every time you unlock their phone, you know that there was the unlock sound. And I've noticed this a while ago. The unlock sound is similar to flicking a lighter. Did they do this intentionally? Apple, did you do this intentionally? Or any of the other, did y'all do this intentionally? Because it sounds like a lighter to me. You unlock it, you ignite the cigarette, you click on whatever pack, maybe I do know this, maybe you're an American Spirits type of person or a Marlboro or whatever it is, Camel. Basically, that's Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, YouTube. Let's not forget YouTube is social media. I know there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that is helpful. For someone who likes YouTube, and there's a lot of things on there. I love it because there's archives of things I've never seen before. YouTube is also social media. Like I said, no matter what pack of cigarettes you decide to smoke that day, whether it's Instagram, you're still smoking a cigarette. It's still a cigarette. There's still dopamine, nicotine, same thing at this point. Have you ever told yourself, I want to quit? Instead of, a nicotine patch to help you quit, Apple decided they're going to give you screen time and time limit reminders. And they're going to give you this thing called phone distance or screen distance. And I use these things because I realize I'm an addict, okay? Specifically, I was an addict for what I thought was for good reason. Some cigarette users believe that what they're doing helps them. And possibly, I'm just going to say possibly it helps them. But no matter how many cigarettes they smoke, the problem is still there. No matter how many hours I'm on social media or you're on social media, the problem is still there. And we're not addicted to social media because we love it. We don't love social media. The thing is, we hate stillness. And you want to know why we hate stillness? Because it really puts the flashlight, it puts the spotlight, it puts the pressure on ourselves. And when there's stillness, there's silence. And when there's silence, there is this space between where we have to think about stuff. And so I have this one quick story. I was going to a grocery store and there was this guy that was carrying a certain type of body, and he got to the front of the store and he was out of breath. And instead of catching his breath or dealing with the fact that it was a lot of labor to get to the front of the store, he pulls out his cigarettes and he lights one up. And I observed that because he was kind of in front of me and I'm aware of my surroundings. So I saw him do that, and he spent what I would assume to be closer to 10 minutes. And we do the same thing with our phones. We do it with Instagram or even Substack, or there's certain social medias where we think it's a little bit better. There's not a lot of videos, or TikTok. There's not a lot of videos and reels and posts and whatever it is. We do the same thing as that guy pulling out his cigarette to smoke it. We do the same thing where we're waiting for, let's say we're at the doctor's office, or we're waiting for our food at the fast food spot. Instead of just waiting, we pull our phone out, knowing that that's blocking us from actually interacting with the world around us. That's blocking us from making friends. And another thing about social media is it's creating these fake friendships. And we're doing it with good intentions, you guys. I know we are. I know when we meet people online and we chat, or we go to certain comment sections and we agree with people, and even if we debate, we believe we're having these connections that mean something. But one thing that really got me is, if you ever say something to someone who isn't on social media, who isn't an addict like us, there's the AA thing. You have to admit you're an addict first before you can make a difference in your own life. You got to say, hey, I'm addicted to social media, so I want to make a change. If you ever talk about social media like something that's happening to someone who really isn't on it, they will go, really? Or they will respond in a way like, what do you mean you don't know? I used to say things to people. They had no idea what I was talking about. And then I would go, there's a reason why you don't know what I'm talking about, is because you're not on social media like me. You're not on it all the time. And the reason why we're afraid of stillness and silence, and some of us, we're afraid of it, but the reason why we are is because it's something spiritual that we don't want to tap into. Spiritual meaning. Spirituality is technically what we would call the unknown, right? When we're quiet and we don't say anything or do anything, technically that's where the spirits are. And I'm not trying to get super esoteric, but I really want to get religious on you guys real quick. We are really simulating a relationship with God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit by treating social media like the drug that it is. You ever notice that liquor is also referred to as spirits? And I also earlier talked about a cigarette brand called American Spirits. So already, you get where I'm going? Already these things are embedded in each other, and they're etched together somehow. Social media is replacing our time with God. And let's just be honest. You wake up, what's the first thing that you do? Is you check your notifications. You check your notifications, you see what is this person doing, your favorite celebrity or your favorite influencer or political commentator or your favorite financial influencer, whatever the thing that you're interested in, you check that first. And then, you know what you're not checking at all? First, it should be checking where you stand with God. But second, you're not even checking in with yourself. Are you actually saying, how do I feel today? Some people deal with migraines. They deal with sicknesses or imbalances with, their immune system or whatever it is. And that's because we have this thing so close to our face all the time. We're absorbing all this blue light. And I know I used to deal with headaches a lot. And I got these blue light glasses and they help a little bit. But what I realized is my phone is too close to my face. I'm sure cigarette users deal with issues too, like migraines, and there's like the lack of appetite. When we're on our phone, we have a lack of appetite for life. We have a lack of appetite for life, and we have a lack of appetite for the things around us that we've curated. Our job, our friends, our family, our animals, our kids. I didn't mean to put the animals first, so sorry. We put our kids before our animals, obviously. But we have this lack of appetite for life. And so I want to challenge you guys. It's been too long of you on social media all the time. You need to get into this book right here. This book right here is the Holy Bible. I refer to this as the most banned book. And you want to know why it's banned? Because for some people, it's not fun. It calls them out. It tells them that you're wrong and you're doing it wrong. You're doing life wrong. It tells you that you're putting things above God, that you're worshiping and you're putting false idols before God. You're making little g gods. And social media, for some of us, is our God. We worship it. We don't think of it that way, but we do. And with cigarettes, you put it in your mouth. You're putting it in a very vulnerable place, your mouth. That's one of our main entry points, is our mouth. It's an entrance. You know, it's the entrance and then it goes down. It's an entrance, and we put it so close to our mouth all the time, just like a cigarette. You light it up, you unlock the button, you light the cigarette up, you fire the app, and it's going. And we're scrolling 4 hours. And then do you ever feel like you're just scrolling and you don't even know what you're looking at? Like, you know, sort of, kind of, but you're just going. You're looking. And then this is the thing about YouTube. I love YouTube. It's great. That's how I'm communicating with you. YouTube will get you because you can press play and you can get away from it. You don't have to do anything. And the videos are longer. But with Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, it constantly keeps your fingers moving. You're constantly firing that cigarette. It's like one cigarette after the next. It's like two, and then it's like three, and then it's a whole pack, and you have to go to the store and get another pack. And when you go to the store, when you're on social media, that means you have to put your phone down because you got to use the restroom. And then you have to go, when you're finished using the restroom, you wash your hands, and then you get your phone back in your hand, and you keep going. It's just constantly, that's the reason why it's your thumb. You don't need a nicotine patch. You need the screen time to remind you that you're using too much. You're using it too much. And it's okay to realize that it's an addiction, because I've been, for the last couple weeks, I've been away from big social media apps. I haven't been on it for a while, and I'm around people who are on it all the time. And then I just kind of observe, and I sit back and I go, you've been on it for a couple minutes now. Or you've been on it for almost an hour. There's memes that are out there that talk about when you're on your phone while you're on the toilet. And they make a little funny graphic where it's like static from a TV is on your legs. We laugh at that, but unfortunately that's what's happening. It's getting that bad. You can't even do normal everyday tasks without using it. What got me, before I go, is there was a meme that I saw years ago, and the text above said, he didn't find something to watch while eating on YouTube. And that meme sticks with me because I can't even eat my food without checking social media. You can't even drive. We know it's dangerous. We know driving kills a lot of people every year. But we can't even put it down. We can't even put our phone down while we're driving. And then you wonder why I say social media is a digital cigarette, because there are some people that need a cigarette when they use the restroom, or need a cigarette when they're driving. There was a reason why they were smoking inside, because everyone was doing it. You need an ashtray for social media. And so what are we going to do about it, you guys? First, don't go cold, because if you do decide to deactivate your account, people are going to think something happened to you. And that's not the impression you want to give. You want to set the example. You don't want to be the dramatic one who just deletes all social media, because people who try to quit cigarettes, they don't do it like that. They try to go cold and just let them all go. But when are you going to finally realize that social media is a drug and that you don't want to be an addict? That's why I say in moderation. You could be a social media user. When you're around people and you're like, let's stay connected. I want to see what you're doing in moderation. Like, what's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? Let's stay connected there. And I've also, instead of checking social media, because I didn't delete the apps, they're still on there. I just don't open them. So what I started doing was, instead of going to Instagram or Facebook or TikTok to see what other people who I don't know are doing, I send text messages out to people who I do know, or I call people. And they may not answer, you'll get over it. But I started calling and texting people. Now, this is something you can try, but not just doing that. But the most important part is, like I said, social media replaces your commitment and your relationship with God. Instead of just, checking what Jane and Joe are doing, see what God is doing in people's lives in this book. See what's going on in here. There are some cool media stories in here. I'm reading this from the beginning to end. I'm just going to read this book and replace social media. And do you actually think when you're on social media that you're actually improving? Do drug users think that they're improving? Let's be honest. Do drug users think they're improving when they use? The answer is most likely no. They know that they're destroying their body, but they just do it anyways. We know we're just destroying our brain cells because it's not really productive. We do it because we don't want to be productive. So if you made it this far, make sure you like this video and let me know, what do you think about this? Do you think social media is a digital cigarette? And is there anything that I left out that you want me to discuss about this subject? I will be glad to discuss it in the comments. Once again, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys on the next video. God bless.